are watching Eswatini TV. Sibuko Semaswati.
Beautiful evening, of course. Monday, another sporting day where we discuss sport, we talk about sport, where we laugh about sport, where we get serious about sport, and where we plan and look at what was happening over the weekend activities, of course, looking at ahead some of the things that we should be expecting. Otherwise, we know how beautiful of a weekend it is, and of course, as a sports team, as a sports crew, we all have mothers here. We take this chance, of course, to wish those loyal mothers at home a happy belated Mother's Day, since it was yesterday. Otherwise, it was a beautiful weekend. We look at once again a Tekball as one of the sporting codes in the country that is currently dominating. 2 years down the line, already having their national, their first national challenges, where we look at over the weekend what was happening. Some familiar names, the likes of Duduzi Dlamini was of course at Mavuso to be part of the competition. We look at that, as we can see on the screen. Some of the well-known faces, of course, were there, where we look at what was happening in terms of Saturday and Sunday. Otherwise, that was not the only activity over the weekend. Of course, we'll be also looking at the second build-up of the Eswatini National Championships, where we are looking at the National Championships to be taking place on the 22nd of May this year. Building up to this competition, we knew and we know that at this point in time, the big guns have already arrived for the national event that is less than, I should say, 3 weeks. So we'll look at how it's going to be. All that will be in the company of Linda Dlamini live here on Eswatini TV. But during the program, of course, the ins and outs, I'll be, having a conversation with different guests through Zoom. Others will be in the studio. We'll also get a chance to, interact with you on different platforms. Otherwise, for those of you who are joining us on Skujana, sit at home, be on the comfort of your city, because it's going to be a lovely show. Otherwise, for Eswatini TV app, it is always a good moment. For YouTube, do not forget to subscribe whenever you join us. I'm already in the company of Duduzi Dlamini. He's also well known in the arts industry by the name of Mdura. He has actually taken a new journey of being a Tekball player, where I'm going to introduce him, and maybe firstly he's going to give us a quick reaction to why he decided to join sport. Mdura, you're already online. What an evening it is. Good evening to you.
Good evening, Fabrice. Thank you for having me on the show.
All right, it's a beautiful evening, of course, to have you. I'm with the company of Linda Dlamini. If maybe one or two questions pop by, I think I'll give him a chance to ask you. But I understand you have already joined a team. You have a team that you played for, and it's things are happening when it comes to Tekball. People can expect a lot from you. But majority of people out there, they know you as a comedian. I would say MC to different hosts. The idea of becoming a Tekball player. How did you change and say, you know what, I'm not quitting arts, I'm not quitting being a comedian, but I'm taking a different route, I'm joining this sport? What excited you about this sport called Tekball?
Yeah, look, I know a lot of people, that's the question that I keep getting from people, how I got into the sport. So I've always been a very athletic guy, ever since my schooling days, varsity, and I just got a little bit bored, especially with the lockdown and all. So I kept, seeing this Tekball, and I thought, you know what? Not much running, just kicking the ball on the table, bouncing it back and forth. So I thought, let me hit Tarib up, who is the Tekball president, and ask if, I could participate. So I started playing with them, and then I registered a team, then, registered a few players here and there. So we got a table here in Eswatini. So, we just started playing every weekend, and I, took a loving to the sport.
Love, and I think if you're getting a chance to see what's happening on the screen, you are there in your outfit or red, should I say red or orange? But then when we talk about when you join the sport, and I think one would say there is maybe a bigger picture. If one would say, is it a sport you want to excel, or it's something for now you're doing it for fun? You've decided to say, you know what, during my free time, during my time when I'm not that much busy, I can use stickball as a moment to distress, or rather to be, to keep up with the body and exercise. Is this one way you can say that this is your fun side of things?
Look, I've never really thought that far. I'm just one person. When I get into something, I want to have fun with the thing. If at some point it takes me somewhere, then so be it. But I'm not really looking for anything specific with tech-board in terms of maybe progression and whatnot. Because as you know, I'm an entertainer. And that's my job first. And then everything else for me is just part-time. But if it takes me somewhere, then most definitely I wouldn't say no to that opportunity maybe of traveling the world with tech ball. But as long as it's something that I'm going to keep enjoying and not getting jarred, then it's something that I would actually just, take up.
Uh-huh. I'm actually looking at you on the screen, and I think you're playing the doubles on Saturday. I think you're in the company of Stamford Ngube, and I'm looking at your control, Dura, and then from my understanding, a person with this control, it means bawunayo nje ndawutsini ma-basics yokudlala ibhola. Ngabe mhlawumbe nje ungasivetela nje kafishane ukuthi esikorweni primary uma high school uma emvasi bokhona yini ukudlala ibhola nje as a person?
Well, something interesting that a lot of people don't know that I never really bring up, because I always want people to see me as a comedian. I used to play at school, and at some point when I was doing Form 4, I was recruited by Sipho Dube from Babane Highlanders, because I used to play for their under-20s. So he asked me to go and join the senior team. I trained for a day. And my dad came to collect me like a parcel, because he didn't want me to play, because he thought, school and all of that. So I stopped playing at that point. But I've always had the passion. At some point, I thought I was going to be a professional footballer. So this is me making up for it right now. So the basics are there. It's just something I never got to pursue.
Wow. Maybe for just for a viewer who just joined us, tell them that it's not a joke. You were once wanted by Babane Highlanders, because at this point in time, I think it's Master, I don't know if the camera can be able to get him. Master wants to laugh. He feels like it's too much to say. You were once on the radar. You once wanted by one of the biggest clubs in the land. Now, you're playing your first experience, your first competitive tournament over the weekend in Tech-Ball. Maybe just to share, how was the experience? And I think I want to first, we should credit the executive of the Tech-Ball Association. I think the setup is quite beautiful, and they have been committed, their commitment when it comes to this sport and how they do things, and in terms of maybe making sure that everything's on time. How did you find your first experience?
Actually, my first experience was last weekend. I played singles the previous weekend before this one. So I played singles. I made it into the quarterfinals, but I couldn't continue because I had to go, do my actual job. So I had to leave and forfeit the game. So my second experience, I loved seeing the consistency of the professionalism that the federation has, shown us from the beginning. The players are well branded. The outfits are pro. Even the discipline among the players, actually, I haven't seen anyone say something, aggressive to the referees. There's just so much professionalism. The sport has started at a really high level that I hope that, the federation continues to uphold.
And of course, the first things when I was actually talking to my producer, including Master himself, the first information that I had to get is that during your doubles, where you were playing in the company of Stamford Ngube, I think your performance was quite good. But when it comes to singles, you lost against Cediwe Ngambule, and that's, I should mention, there's nothing wrong mentioning that she's a female, but now it's now no. She's here in the studio. Actually, she's listening to me, so I don't want her to think she's weak or she's what. The reason why I'm saying that is that you were once wanted by a team like Babane Highlanders, but then so now she's feeling like she was playing against a big player. So how do you now explain how was your challenge in the singles?
No, listen. When I was going into the game, because the first thing I learned was let me just tell you a short story. So when we were training before the actual tournament, the first one, the first series last weekend, I was beaten by one player called Sedalia. She's a female also during the training session, you know. So it gave me a lesson, especially going to the first tournament. I saw how good these ladies are and how they were whooping some people there in the first series, you know, professional players that actually play even right now. So going into the game with Celiwe, I knew what to expect because I had seen the previous day how they went all the way to the semifinals with Nobuhle. You know, it was two ladies playing against guys and they were beating everyone. So I knew it was going to be a challenge. And yeah, it was a tough game. She knows this. She knows it was a tough game.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a tough game. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm actually, when I'm looking at maybe your focus in the game, I'm just watching the pictures right now. But then I'm in the company of our technical director within the association, who also happens to be an accredited referee, accredited coach. And then on top of that, his main priority as a person, he's an analyst. He's got one or two questions. Okay.
Yes, Mtura. Happy belated birthday. On Saturday it was your birthday.
Thank you, my brother.
Yes. Umbuto amgutsi Mtura yipi loeva ngathi kunika i-tough competition on Saturday or on Sunday kuma doubles noma kuma singles because on Sunday wadibana na Celiwe but on Saturday yipi loeva ngathi yaba tougher for wena.
I would say for me, no offense to Celiwe, she played a great game. I would say for me, one that was very tough for me was the game against Mangoba Guma Singles on Sunday. Because I had played Mangoba the previous weekend, Guma group stages, and it was a difficult game. We had to go to the third set because it was that tough. And then we came back to play again this week, and it was another tough. That is where I actually twisted my ankle before the quarterfinals. It was tough mentally and physically, and you know, I'd say that was the toughest game I played with Guma Singles.
And of course, beautiful things you are seeing on the screen. That's Mtu. Master singamhleba imbi wakhe. Lo mdlalo uthi iHighland abemfuna at some stage. What's your take?
In fact, Fabrice, ngikhuluma liqiniso. The first time ngibona Mdura ngiyakhumbula besidlala Prince of Wales adlale izidlala pick team bekuyi media tournament. So weta wadlala and ngathi buta ukuthi why Mdura angadlala ibhola professionally because he's so talented, they control almost everything, so la tech ball ngicaba ukuthi nakhona kuze abe because uyabona ukuthi leli talent alikhona kuze akhona ukudlala at the highest level. Ngicaba ukuthi kudinga ukuthi atinike isikhathi njengoba ushilo ukuthi yena umsebenzi wakhe kahle is an entertainer, but kudinga ukuthi decide ukuthi ufuna ukudlala at the highest level yini i-tech ball. Otherwise, the talent is there.
They have it, and of course, we're still in conversation with Tutuzi. I mean, well-known, familiar face in the arts industry. He's, of course, one of the person who has joined Techball as the new sport in town. He's actually expressing the first experience, how the sport has become one of the things that he's enjoying currently. And of course, a short break. Don't go anywhere, because a short surprise after the break where we need to make a technical change. There's a lot Mdura has to answer. There is a lot Mdura. If he's telling the truth, we'll find out after the break. Don't go anywhere.
In order to bring to life and to defeat and overcome the ongoing global pandemic coronavirus, food with a balanced diet plays a vital role. Eswatini TV brings to you a fresh season of Kudla Kwempilo to see how our farmers bring food to the nation, the challenges our farmers are facing in this pandemic, the struggle, the fight, the national lockdown, the intervention from the government to help our local farmers. Watch this first season of Kudla Kwempilo on Eswatini TV. Learn, be advised, and be inspired by local farmers and how they are making great changes in this era of COVID-19. Kudla Kwempilo, food for life.
There you have it. We're back here at Eswatini TV. I'm in the company of two special guests. One, she's already next to me. The other one is the regular one. We were together prior to the break. I'm very
Yes, I'm good.
I'm good. Now, Celewe Nkambule is actually a double agent. Let me say, when you say a double agent, it means you can play for two teams. Celewe Dlamini is a Young Buffaloes ladies player. Ne? Oh, yeah, Celewe Nkambule, not Celewe Dlamini. Celewe Nkambule is a double agent by being a Young Buffaloes ladies team and then Young Buffaloes Tekball ladies team. You play for both teams.
Yes.
So ngafisha nje awusichazele nje kwanyalo Nkambule ukuthi when the table arrived at your place, at workplace, at your training facility, now the sport itself nasimukela kanjani from day one?
Actually, better put the legends. I can call them the legends.
Yes.
Yeah.
Zama ukuphakamisa voice.
And they introduced the table stuff and all of it. But then, yeah, there's a lot of, let's say,
There's a lot of, yeah.
Yeah, but then we managed to follow them. Yeah, it wasn't easy, but then as time goes on.
So, but you already you're already playing football,
Yes.
so you shouldn't struggle in terms of controlling, in terms of knowing the ins and out of the sport. Otherwise, in terms of playing for you,
Yeah, it's good, but their services,
now
such a good.
we get to that personal, some of the things that you have actually experienced personally. Now, first activities over the weekend for you personally, as a person, udlala the sport competitively. But off record, I would say since you got the table, Mijima every day, from Monday to Friday in your gym,
Monday to
take
Friday,
ball.
Yes.
Scat say ball again.
We have 9 a.m. it's tech ball up until 10:30. Then after tech ball, we join the rest of the team.
Wow.
Soccer.
There's no time for resting. Now,
Yeah.
over the weekend, you're playing a tech ball at the National Challenge Series, where you, at some point, you were teaming up with another player, and then you met a specific player that we'll be talking to. He's in our company. But let's talk about you in the pictures that we're seeing right now in the screens. What was the experience, the pressure? Were you anxious, and anything that happened on the day?
Actually, while we're training, most of the time we're against the male. So yeah, it gives us some experience towards their services. It's not easy to control them, but as a footballer, we've got the advantage to some of their services.
Okay.
Come up with them, yeah.
Ukanze kunjani ukuthi you can team up with a male and play against another male? Because nangibuka nje, I think from the TV, in terms of control, everything is going accordingly. At the first point, maybe were you a bit pressured ukuthi ndawukhona yini ngosidlana abantu singasho ukuthi who are experienced in the sport?
So far, we didn't play Emma mixed. Yeah, we're being paired by ladies to lady against males, so it's not easy, but then somehow we come out beating the male.
The celebrations there. Tell me about the celebrations. What happened there?
Menelo to beat guys.
You mean to beat guys?
Yeah.
There's a guy.
It
There's a guy you did beat on Sunday.
Yeah, Mdura.
Before he played Mudura, and I think when actually he's saying hi. Mudura, I'm already with Kaliwe. Kaliwe is saying hi to you.
Yeah. How's it, Kunjani?
I'm good. How are you?
So tell me
I'm
about.
not done with you.
Yes. Did you know anything about Mudura before the game yesterday?
Nah, actually, he's good in control. He's good. He's calm.
He's calm.
He's calm. He can beat you, but then I think the injury disturbed him. Yeah.
Okay, so I think the first question was that prior to Techball, Bomat Mdura as a person.
No.
Bongamat.
Yeah.
You found out about Mdura Sunday. Okay. Uvirenje would see apart from Techball, what is?
Nah.
Nothing. Okay, we get to that. Now, Mdura, you said you follow soccer.
Yes.
Yes. Mdura, you played him yesterday.
Yes.
Guambenja.
Yeah, I was actually in Veplu nagalimala and angimbonanga nagalimala but ngimbonisa at time up. Nabam necherisha there. I was like, oh, this guy, why? What happened? I didn't see because I was focusing on my game. Only to find where limala. Yeah, I think in mentality okay, blowing loti. So limele and stuff. First ungdlile ngamudla and then this was a decide. Yeah, I wanted to find
Let's talk about I'm going to ask him the same question. Let's talk about the setula umjekona. The feeling by incha.
I hate pressure.
You had pressure.
I won't lie. Yeah, I hate pressure. Yeah, we had a good game. But yeah, it wasn't easy.
All right. A player normally who is wanted by big clubs. So when he enters the field of play, go internationally, ask Cristiano Ronaldo when Madrid wanted him, or Rooney when he was from Everton to Manchester United. It means a lot. Mdura was once a player who was so much on the transfer request of Mbabane Highlanders. Yesterday he was in the field of play, Techball field of play to face Cediwe Ngambule. Mdura, there's a set way against Cediwe. How was the feeling? Now people should see what I'm able to do. People should see what I'm capable to do.
Okay, it was before the game. I had a lot of pressure because I take the game seriously. So I needed to win. And when you get to the point where we were at Snaceliwe in the quarterfinals, the attention is on you guys, and silly mistakes can cost you. So I had seen the way Cediwe plays, how she returns, how she's calm, how she controls the ball, and I thought, you know what I need to do is to force her into making mistakes. So in the first set when we played, I had one aim, forcing her to make mistakes. She was very good, and she did make a few, but I won the first set at the end. And that was good. It was a good, booster for the game. And then when you went into the second set, now she's under pressure. I need to feed on the pressure that she has because she knows she's one down. She has to win this one for her to play in the decider. So we play the second one. It's going well. She's playing well. I'm playing well. And then I twist my ankle again. And then I'm out there, they are treating me. Also, I'm feeling bad because I feel like I'm disturbing a really good game. I'm killing the momentum for her. I'm killing the momentum for myself. So it was pretty bad, and I think it affected me mentally because the moment I went down, I felt like she can see my weakness and she'll capitalize. And she really played a good game. She showed how strong she is mentally.
Her control.
And I think she really... Sorry?
I'm talking about her control. Did you notice her control?
Yeah, I did. That's why I'm saying that my game plan was I need to force her into mistakes. So I need to play the ball to the sides. I need to make sure with my serves, they go through. Because I know if I hit it hard with the serves and then she tries to control and it gets off the table, then I'm good. She's quite good at that.
She's quite good. No. Maybe we want to check where why is she that good? And I think one of the things she highlighted is that she is a Young Buffaloes ladies team. She's in the squad of Young Buffaloes, and I think you play the league regularly. And I think at this point in time, maybe singathola ithuba ukuthi uvetele nje ma-viewers ukuthi have you ever get a call ku-national team yama under 20, under 16 maybe?
No, under 20, under 16, no.
Not yet.
I just went to the senior team.
Straight nje ku-step.
Yes.
Now, that's how it is big now, because when you talk about maybe her control, Mdula, she's actually explaining that she is in the squad of the national team, some players. So that's how big she is, and that's how good she can be.
Yeah,
so you played
great.
a senior, you played a national team product yesterday, and then maybe we're talking about that quality. Now, Cleo, I wanted you also to tell me something about Mdura, and then maybe Master, my colleague, was talking about earlier on, in terms of how some people see they should have chosen a different career. Now, Mbuga Mdura, at this point in time, we should be seeing him maybe playing for Sihlangu Semnigati naye adlala ama-team lamakhulu imbabone Highlanders imbabone uvetile ukuthi imbabone Highlanders yayamfuna esinye isikhathi. Do you think as a profession at some point ngabe wayikhetha ibhola ukuthi ayidlale nawubuka nje lendlela bayadlala ngayo iToro?
Actually, yes. I also asked myself that question. How come this player isn't playing for any team, any Premier team? He's good on the ball, he's calm. His control means anything. In football, basics are key. Yes.
All right. Mdura, we talk about your injury. I'm looking at your profile there, and I think it's being written, Mdura Dlamini, you Liswati at the age of 30, and I heard it was your birthday Saturday. At the age of 30, where do you see yourself in the next 5 to 6 years? Are you going to be still a tech ball player? Where do you see yourself with tech ball in the next 5 years?
Okay, like I said earlier, I'm one person who loves doing things that I enjoy, and so far, hopefully, injuries will not be a problem because when you get to the the other side of 30, then sometimes it happens. I also do comedy, which means working mostly at night, so I'm always busy. So if my body doesn't give in to the pressure of being in the entertainment industry, running my other businesses and then doing tech ball, hopefully I will play competitively and professionally, as a tech ball player because I love tech ball that much. So I really plan to stay in that sport.
And the injury, anything maybe you can tell your supporters, and especially those who are expecting you on the stage for the other profession side of things, your injury that you suffered. And I don't know if I should say I'm shocked. It's my first time to hear that you can actually suffer that much of an injury when playing tech ball and be escorted out of the field.
No, it can happen because, with tech ball, you are moving a lot and the movements are very sudden. So if you don't get a good warm-up, your muscles are not warm enough, and you're like me, you didn't get a good night's sleep the previous day because, you are committed to other things, then, of course, you can get injuries. But what I would like to say, because I do know that there's so many people that, were following my progress in tech ball, is that one, I'm getting better. I put a lot of ice. The ankle is a bit fine. So hopefully I can start training next week. And second, my fans, my comedy fans, the people that follow my comedy, I want to make sure that they know that I am not lost to comedy. And tech ball will not take that time. I will try to balance the two things up, but they must know that I'll still, do comedy and tech ball. So they are fine.
All right. And then, of course, I've got one or two questions for both of you before we go. In terms of maybe, since the tournament started, one or two players that have impressed you? When you look at, I know there's quite experienced players in the tournament, but one or two players that have impressed you, and you look at the techniques, you look at how they apply themselves, and you say, you know what, this guy can be the number one and just go away and represent the country in Hungary. Who has impressed you so far?
Actually, it's terrible, and Mdura as well. Every time I play, every time they play, I look at them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's you.
Yeah, that's me.
Wow. Dura, on your side, I think Claire is mentioning that so far, she's been impressed with Taribo's quality, experience, the technique and everything. On your side, anything that maybe you've noted from some of the players that you were playing against or you saw playing over the weekend that you can say, you know what, if we carry on with a sport like this, this guy is going somewhere with the sport?
Yeah, I think for me it would be the ladies, the young Buffaloes ladies. They have really, I've really taken a liking for them. You know that stereotype that says, "Ngoba ibhola lena, sinemajita we will." I've seen how they've improved, how they've grown, and now they've gotten to that level where asababuke is nyodlala nechair. You're going into play against a player. I like how they've improved. And if you look at the past weekend, the previous day, they got on the podium for a bronze medal, Awards. The following day, Kuma Singles, Celiwe was there in the top 4 once again. So if you look at that, they're playing against guys. I think it's really big for the sport. And then in terms of individuals, I'd say Njabuliso one, for the fact that this is a 45-year-old man pushing his towards his 50s, but the level of discipline and commitment on his side playing against 20-year-olds, 19-year-olds is impeccable. And then Taribo, for the way he trains, I see how he trains. I see how he always gets mad when something doesn't come out and how he's always trying to fix things. And then, of course, my doubles partner, a player I used to look up to when we used to play, Stanford Ngube. The way he's so calm, he's one guy that plays with so much flair. He makes it look so easy. He's come up with new tricks, that when I watch him play, I think, wow, this guy should have played football even more. So yeah, I'd say that's what has really taken, my attention.
All right. I've got one more question before I let you go, Mtura. Now, anyway, I know you are a young Buffaloes player. Upinzul the Ketso receive steps and players. Igusiteka nganani Tekball so far to add on the other side of things. Like I said, you're a double agent. You play for Tekball national team. How has Tekball, played an important role in assisting in football as far as things are concerned?
Actually, in football, what I've gained Tekball, it's that weighing the art.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay.
As I spins weigh and art.
Weighing the ball, because when we want to score a goal, the pass that we have to keep, we have to weigh to the person.
Yes.
Yes. Because when a pass that I keep, like waiting for a cross, kunale pass let's say going to score a goal. Yeah, got Tekball. I think we are learning a lot. There is control. There is weighing.
And cleverness. There you have it. Not only is she smart on the field of play, but give her an opportunity to express herself. That is Celiwe Ngambure for you. That is Celiwe on the screen, as you can see, in an orange outfit. Mdura, this is a professional player. She's expressing what she has gained from playing Tekball as a football player. You, on the other side, you are in the arts industry. One would say you are using Tekball as a, by the way, one would say that way. What have you gained so far since you played Tekball? What have you added on your knowledge? What has Tekball assisted you with?
So much discipline, a lot of discipline, because with Tekball, it's at some point it's an individual sport, just like entertainment is for me. Most of the time I'm on my own on stage, but now I had to learn how to partner up with someone when I play doubles. Now I need to know that I need to carry this person, and I need to allow him to also shine in the same game, which is something that I'm not used to in my field because I'm always on the spotlight, So I'm learning a lot when it comes to teamwork, and also the amount of commitment, what I have to put my body through, to play tech ball. I found my feet and legs in positions I've never put them in. So I'm just learning so much about commitment, so much about teamwork, and dedication, I could say.
There you have it. Thank you very much, Mdura. And I hope, of course, as the arts and entertainment industry is back on stage, we're hoping that we get a few jokes that are coming from the tech ball industry. Otherwise, for Tseliwe Gabud as well, thank you very much. One thing I will tell you is that a lot is being done by the association, the federation rather, the Tech Ball Federation. And they actually, in one of their plans is to soon have a national team, both for male and female. And as we speak, once we take a short break, Linda Dlamini, the association's technical director, is going to be here. Who knows? You keep that, good work. You keep the teamwork, like you said, Mdura. You keep the cleverness, like you said. Who knows? Both of your names could be in the call-ups for the first time once the federation establishes a national teams. Otherwise, thank you very much for being with the two of you. A short break. When you come back, Linda Dlamini is going to be in the studio to give us what he thinks about these two players' performance over the weekend as a technical director, as a coach, as a qualified ref of the Tech Ball Federation, and then he's going to also to give us a way forward to what's happening into these new series challenges. Otherwise, a short break. Master is in the studio.
Gigi's a movie star I haven't seen in my life. I can't even say, hello everyone. This is who I am. But let's go. You want a piece of me? Yeah, you know you wanna on my swag radar.
Malangeni lamahle, gama lami ngingisanziso ngwakamathebula. Sibambisene nembutho wembube kulwa nekutibulala nekubulalana kwesive. Sithi ke umuntu lodzinga lusito kuloko akakhone kuye emaphoyiseni noba akhulume nemuntu lamthembile. Sincenga sive ukuthi asiugweme lo mkhuba wekutibulala newekubulalana.
It is right here on Eswatini TV as we discuss some of the activities that took place over the weekend. Mostly the National Challenger Series under Tech Ball Federation hosting, of course, its first ever, national competition. One would say it's so far going accordingly. I'm already in the company of Linda Dlamini. First, Sangashogutsi analyst Yala Kaya. Secondly, technical director of the federation. Master, I think the sport is gaining momentum. Naskuru Manje since Saisa Shogutsi, the way things are moving fast, the distribution of the tables, the involvement of teams. Now we have got national series. Master, I put them on the spot. Nangti batubeka batipatsega shogutsi mhlawumbe masinyano ngabafaka ku national team because yathi ukuthi inzabe national team ukhulumela national team yabo maka ukhulumela national team yabo babe umsebenzi vele wa technical director. Bayathi ngeSwati lo ubuke uthuthukisa lo mdlalo
yeah
ukuthuthukisa umdlalo sita kahle Swati
hayi no sita
no master awusichazela ukuthi kububuka labadlali bangi2 ikakhulukazi nawumbuka nje Celiwe Nkambule lo dlala Young Buffaloes ladies team aphinze abe noku national team Sithebe Samhlekazi umbuke naMdula singasho ukuthi uMdula ucale ngekusihlekisa kancane nathi ukuthi wayafunwa ngale team yempaba neHighlanders master I think the bigger picture how soon can people expect in national team nawubuka nje so for what you've seen with the federation the series I think from last weekend to this past weekend the sport bantu basimukela kanganani the sport bantu so understand kanganani because ngivela umunye sithi Rama rules nyaro wazi wa understand Rama rules then you have everything
Fabrice nawubuka kulo first round second round ngicabanga ukuthi baningi badlala abafikile le incumbi yabo labe sicabanga ukuthi batawucala abapass but bafike bayibamba basheshe bayibamba but lokumcwa kakhulu ke Fabrice ngilokuthi ujime uprepareishe because every tournament in fact every sport kudinga ukuthi ujime so nalaba kuyabonakala ukuthi bayajima bayadikanja ukhuluma kona Celiwe ukuthi everyday ekseni bayajima I remember first day nasiya ko introduce yona iTechball ka Young Buffaloes bothi na ukhuluma lama rules na in fact na usho ukuthi lama rules anganani all the ladies bathi ha yabona but limited fashion lutho ngicabanga sengilokujima kakhulu kumcoka kakhulu baningi badlali Fabrice lesibabonile kuletho ngakhuluma ngamancoba ku first round nomdlali lo amangalisala baningi because bekaqala kudlala beku computer Techball in fact beka only a week aqale kujima iTechball this past weekend bekuna Garrett Suzman former player what a wonderful player he was during his playing days nyalo ubeka computer ukucala naye ku Techball ngeweekend ngicaba ukuthi ushaya itinvo letincane kumele uunderstand ka Techball ukuthi as much as control ngaba khona lama moves ukhona kwenda but ngicaba ukuthi the final touch ngiyo lemcoka kakhulu because you have to score so le aggression mina ngeke ngithanze ubadlala aba aggressive kubona umdlalo aggressive these two bo Taribo naNjabuliso uyababona nabadlala uyawabona lama smash ukuthi aggressive kanganani so ngicabanga ukuthi even the other players ngikakhuluma nga Rio na Stika bembabana Highlanders very good young players but ngicabanga ukuthi lokudinga ukuthi bak understand ukuthi iTechball yes we are controller ube relaxed but naso kumele ukuthi uscorishe usmash hit it hard man
and I think another thing that excites me masa ngokuthi nasikhuluma ngeTechball nasikhuluma ngale sport le singasho ukuthi so far abantu seba wonke umuntu sofisele kusingena kwanyaro nasibuka now ma press presentation kunokucabanga ukuthi mhlawumbe there's a specific age uvetele umuntu ukuthi vele nabuka umdlalo njengaNjabuliso na 45 ajoina lo mdlalo and I think Taribo naye so kule age ye peak angasho ukuthi ufuna 45 but kune age nje ukuthi ngiko sengakambone kakhulu ku Wanderers ubuke nje I think there's another face I saw kunemdlali lo sebenza la ekhaya under the name Ngumbela and I think it tells you ukuthi the sport either you are a TV man either you are a comedian njengama Mdura either a former player either you are a TV presenter njengawe it's a sport singasho ukuthi wonke umuntu angasidlala lokho kusho ukuthini ngale sport master
Fabrice ngicabanga ukuthi na introduce le sport la khaya bese igcizelela kakhulu begcizelela kakhulu iTechball ukuthi lesi sport sawonke umuntu umncane umdzala wesifazane wesilisa bonke ukhubatekile ngicabanga ukuthi tonke le tinvo leto you remember even nalama programs deaf associations baby now yaba part of ma activations ayo iTechball Eswatini so ngicabanga ukuthi sports awonke umuntu lesi noma ngabe una 50 njoba usho ukuthi Njabuliso is 45 only 5 years away from 50 but look at him playing like a 20-year-old so ngicabanga ukuthi kuyakutshengisa lokuthi le sport lesi akuyi ngokuthi unganani futhi akuyi ngokuthi uya former players like Stanford Ncube I had a chat with him before the game in fact after round 1 washo ukuthi le pressure layibonile ka Techball in fact azange sakaze ayibone even asadlala adlalele Mbabane Highlanders asadlala Mbabane Swallows uyaqala kuve pressure lengaka so ukutshela kona ukuthi le sport sine pressure lenganani but ithenga ukuthi le pressure ukhohlwe ngayo into lomelo focus kuyo ngile game yakho. Unfortunately yena Stanford beka solo ancenga injury ahla acela leyo time out ahlala phasi bamnesa but wagcina akhonile ukuthi ayiceze igame yakhe.
Maybe one or two questions, Master, before we move on to other things. Master, I think on countless occasion sesihamba nawo nje semavuso noma somhlosi buke ibhola, and then I think singakhoda manje nje amagama ebadlali, but on countless occasion sesikubone ukuthi ukhaze ukuthi umdlali at Premier League level ehluleke nje ukucontrol ibhola, and bese uyatibuta ukuthi is it issues of basics. How important is tech ball now to such problems? You can't nje ukuthi control nje umdlali yamehlula. The things nje ukuthi patience in the box. Do you think tech ball at some point ingaba sida abadlali ukuthi sisashintsha nje le topic ngoba sifuna sijike ukuthi tinza?
In fact this sport me as a coach football coach tech ball coach noma ungasho yini angicabanga ukuthi uyayisebenzisa as a training method unawusethe drills akho le tech ball ubeke lapha eceleni letafula lakho yathi ukuthi nangifuna le exercise le ndawuhamba ngilapha ka tech ball more especially control because I perfect technique tech ball kakhulu. So ngicabanga ukuthi badlali sike sabona including my teams la njengabo Manchester, Tottenham, even Brazil national team basebenzisa lona letafula most recently Mamelodi Sundowns in South Africa the last month beve feel for the first time etafuleni and basho labo coach ukuthi this is the best feeling ever because nyalo badlali batawufunza i-control. So ngicabanga ukuthi badlali bo coach bebhola batawufunza lokuningi kakhulu ku tech ball.
Now, they have it. That is our in-house analyst who is also a coach for many sporting courts. Wamfaka Poleni, he's the coach. Wamfaka Tech Ball, he's on top of that a technical director. Rather, one would say lobuke kutufigisa umdlalo with Tech Ball like Linda Tami. Now, moving on, Athletics Association was in a build-up second day at Mavuso Sports Center. Of course, knowing that Tech Ball was also taking place at Mavuso. While on the Tech Ball aside, things were taking another gear. Athletics, of course, they were also getting up for the second edition of the build-up. Master, lilanga leli singasho ukuthi besikaze vele ukuthi singabuka tingijimi letinguru kukhuluma ngabo subsiso Swaziland bophumulile singasho ukuthi for skats the seats they were in the Republic of South Africa lapho khona singasho ukuthi they are preparing themselves thoroughly for the Olympic Games. Expectations on the day, Master. Did you see what you wanted to see from the athletes?
Yes, I was very, very fortunate Fabrice ukuthi same day ngibukele two ama sports tech ball nema athletics khona eMavuso. So ngicabanga ukuthi the different races khona ku athletics ukhuluma nge200 ukhuluma ngabo 100. Ngicabanga ukuthi le build up uyakhombisa lo sister ugatsa ini khona ku national champs. Ngicabanga ukuthi aba competitive kakhulu. Nawubuka ukuthi ku first day the first build ups bebangekho Busiso bophumlile bo7. I was very, very happy in fact kubona sebenele Dlamini on Saturday a compete because it's been a while ukusigcinela ukumbona ku track and field the last athlete kushiyas Busiso. So ngicabanga ukuthi kancane lamatubane yes isekhona yona le gap uyayibona lokuthi una ukhuluma ngasibusiso okhuluma ngemvulo cishe yena vele usebenta ematubane professional uyambona ukuthi even the strides akhe le ndlela la gijima ngayo uyabona ukuthi kuhlukile. Some of them yes uyababona ukuthi basayidzinga le coaching because basesebancane basafika kule game basadzinga le coaching ukuthi ugijima kanjani awugijima njengathi uyagijima nje ucoshwa umuntu but lokugijima ukuthi ubeka kanjalo etinyawo takho tinvo leti kanjalo leti lokudzinga ukuthi ba improve ukuthi obo coach.
Nangibuka skats lapha Master ngathi iskats lesiningi ukhanze ukuthi tingijima tethu nje bo 2025 that's the final reaching point.
Look at him
yes.
Look at him, it's like it's Busiso Mathenzi uya warm up nje uyajoga
this upcoming young lady
especially Dlamini, a very very good young athlete naye logijimela reps. So ngicabanga ukuthi naye kunetinvo lafika improve akuto. Remember ngikhuluma ngaye ukuthi nangiqala kumbona ajima Prince of Wales 2013 2014 bekangagijimi kanje but inyalo so improve kakhulu lengicabanga ukuthi labo coach bakhe basebenza umsebenzi omhle kakhulu. Not only him including many young athletes but lalamanye lengikhuluma ngawo ukuthi basayidzinga le coaching. Uyabona ukuthi nguphi labata in fact ku 200 na 400 kukhona labathi khona as an athlete uyatata ukuthi ustrong ngakuphi ebending noma ku straight. So ngicabanga ukuthi nalapho kudinga ukuthi bo coach babatshele ama athletes ukuthi okay wena ugood ebending i200 uyiqala kahle na uqala ebending but nasobuya social la 100 usuke vele so hamba kahle dinvo lethe lokudinga ukuthi usinasiya kuma national champs babe sebatilungisile because lawa bekuma build ups.
Si Serena Mavik Ramabiri master before we get to the national champs, and I think a few things that at this point in time singasho ukuthi sekuvele kuvedile I association I consent kakhulu kathi ngale confidence towards the last stages performance wise fine, the athletes are getting there like no bugenji performance, but we're going maybe to hear from one of the officials from Eswatini Athletic Association of Eswatini, but when we come back, Master, I want you maybe to give me maybe a clarification to say has maybe the fact that maybe they didn't get enough time to train. Now we were supposed to see they were in South Africa, they were training. For Labanye, they didn't get enough chance to work on their skills, they work on their endurance and everything. Is it why maybe we might not have a beautiful event of the national championships? Otherwise, before we get to start to explain to that, this is Toba Maziboko, the association secretary general, on Saturday, giving us a feedback on what he has noted so far since the big guns arrived in the country.
Going to the nationals they usually tough.
And since stick more on the training. In the training.
The training aspect of ngupla ufuna kubuka khona khulu starts, finishing or
starts in endurance.
Okay. Now we want to shut up on.
Good day lokunye. Bese khona lo qualify lo kuyale kuma junior.
I-competition yethu ihambe kahle namuhla isaqhubeka lesibonile sibone inombolo eziningi kakhulu for emaklabhini ethu lesinawo cishe ngathi masibuka vele baningi kakhulu ama athletes lebeka solo akulambele lokusabile kuyogijima akhona ke namhlaza malokuthi aqualify sitawuthatha only 16 labatawuya kuma final from each event but asisho lokuthi lizinga lisengabi kulelijabulisa kahle kakhulu in terms of the performances, but kucishe kuyajabulisa lokuthi we see a lot of ama athletes lasemancanyana lokusho ukuthi leli kusasa likhona. Siyethemba atawuvele ama athletes atawungona atawukhona ku replace aboswaziport nabaphumile lokho yabonakala lokuthi vele lo covid ubalimede kakhulu abakhona ukuthi lungiselela kahle mawubuka nje ukuthi ama performance asese pass but siyethemba ukuqhubeka bakulungiselele stats masifika kuma national championships sitawubona ama performance la cishe sangconywana nganawo lesibona namuhla ngoba ukukhuthata ema clubs ukuthi akaqhubeke and they coaching batokhona kusibabuyela sibize sikhumbuteke nema athletes kanye nema club awo sakhumbule phela ukuthi lesifo sa covid sekhona sengapheli sisebhekile lokuthi baqhubeke ba respect lawo ma guidelines a covid mabangagijimi bafake lama mask aphindze futhi kube nale social distancing.
We need proper coaching for labantwana.
Yes.
In all aspects, from your diet, your weight training. I mean, like depending on the event you gijimako or no participate your requirements are. So we need to have that necessary stable environment.
Yeah.
Yes. I was lucky to have people that identify like and were willing to support me to take me to the next level, where I ended up going to America. Obviously, I think Inyati, at the time I was picked up by the former managing director, Brian Person.
Okay.
Yes. Just say Inyati Super Force.
Oh.
Yes. So yeah, that guy took me and identified then he provided the how do I put it? On the requirements
what provide
exactly to the extent we would say that I got a scholarship to the States.
Oh yes.
And now if you want to know more about my running, because I was a national champion in my NCAA America.
Oh, okay.
Which is bigger than the national record.
Oh yes.
Yeah, winning an NCAA is huge.
And of course, officials and then an athlete, but mostly the second person who spoke, Master Toba Mazibugo. They are concerned as an association heading to the big games, but maybe just your overview, Master. I think I understand why they are concerned. The timing wasn't enough, and then I think they feel like maybe athletes needed two more build-ups before the actual event. But for your side, Master, what do you think?
Yeah, vele lelizinga lisingafiki kahle la sikhathe khona ukuthi belingaba khona ngicabanga ukuthi for obvious reasons ema athletes inqumbi bekahledi angakhona ukujima for a very long time kuya understandeka. So ngicabanga ukuthi lama build ups bawe yes mancane wona bengingajabula mina ukuthi at least abe ngu4 before le national champs, because we're only 2 weeks away. Maybe if the following weekend betaba nalamanye third build ups ngicabanga lapho bekungaba ngcono, but nje kudos to kuwo ema athletes adimisela uyabona ukuthi they are giving their all, bazama ngaloko okuncane labanabo, even nalalamanye langakhona ukujima kude le track lekahle lefana nasemavuso uyabona ukuthi basuka bafike lapha emavuso bastruggleisha, but nasebazame kancane ezelisaqhubeka langa ukuthi ba adapt.
They have it, of course. Our in-house analyst Linda Dlamini wrapping it up for us to tell us that there is still more to be done, but hopefully it will be a lovely event on the 22nd of May, which is 2 Saturdays, two coming up Saturdays, the 15th and the 22nd. Then you have the actual national championships. Now, Master, quickly before we leave, I think the loyal viewers have been saying that they like Nasuba Vadedis, I would say. They are always at you, close players. And sometimes we use veteran magama, think of which Kiaba Kombisa would see Uyabanaka and
Fabrice ngicabanga ukuthi eqaleni ngendi mistake ngangabavuseli manual viewers, but ke info lemcwa kakhulu thina simaswati nangabe ungakhona ukuthi ube nesicalo lesikahle ngicabanga ukuthi ekugcineni siyabonga kakhulu emanual viewers enhlale ngisho ukuthi lama messages lemilayeto noma sidibana nabo ngicabanga ukuthi basikhuthatha nasiye kahamba kuyocover letindzawo letehlukahlukene siyabonga kakhulu ukuthi bas-invite sihlale kuma-sitting rooms abo sibe nabo lemakhaya singasho nje ukuthi siyabonga kakhulu kuma-loyal viewers emakhaya.
There's a specific loyal viewer, Master, before you go by the name of Delisa Malinga. I don't know if you know him.
Yeah, Delisa Malinga, cricket coach. Ngicabanga ukuthi me and him sine nenglas fike sihlangane khona. We both love cricket. We both coaches. We both supporting Arsenal. So ngicabanga ukuthi is a loyal viewer, the most reliable loyal viewer lengangambona.
Oh, they have it close to some gardening. Otherwise, thank you very much for watching this evening, this lovely program. Of course, a lot took place, so we interacted mostly with the tech ball, players who were part of the series over the weekend. Otherwise, for me, Fabrice Umsona, Linda Dlamini, the entire sports crew that made sure that you get this lovely program through Eswatini TV app, through YouTube, through your comfort of your seat at home, through Skuchane. We say Eswatini TV Sports. Silver Nons.
My name is Eswatini.
It's your boy DJ Stana. aka B-Easy. Catch me and the gang on a brand new show.
On a brand new show.
A hot new show for Studio One.
We cover